Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the show presented by MyBookie, MyBookie.ag, and it is wonderful to have you along for the ride. Phillies 2-1 to start the season before maybe their home opener today at 3:05. Weather permitting. We will see what happens with all that. That's the only time. You guys know I don't like the we'll see, but when it comes to the weather, we all know it's a crapshoot. So we'll get into that. Bats fell silent yesterday. The Nats got to Nola. I'd like to say the two ugly ghosts reared their ugly heads. That's what I was saying yesterday after the game. That really haunt us about the Phillies. And usually, speaking of wait and see, usually when it comes to the Phillies and any baseball team, it's 162 games. You don't lose your mind over one loss. However, this Phillies team, I am coming to realize, whether it's 19 strikeouts and still winning on opening day, or it's a 5-1 loss where you can only squeeze out one measly bases-loaded run in the ninth inning on a ground out to second base by your backup catcher, or it's Aaron Nola getting his bell rung in the fourth inning and then, again, giving up a home run in the sixth inning. That I realize that people are going to have short tempers with this Phillies team because really it's not game 3 of the season. I mean, yes, obviously it is, but it's not game 3 of this Phillies core in Philadelphia. We've seen the play. Expectations are, I don't even know if expectations are high as much as it's more along the lines of, so you guys going to do this or not? You guys going to really compete? You guys going to win a World Series with this core? You guys going to win a World Series with Bryce Harper as the leader of the team? Are you guys going to do that? Convince me that you will, please. So yesterday when Alec Boehm goes 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position, grounds into a inning-ending, threat-ending, bases-loaded ending double play, and just misses, by the way, just misses on at least three pitches yesterday, Alec Boehm just misses on some pitches that he usually puts into the gap in the left center field wall or puts over the wall to drive in some runs. Runners in scoring position, he's the king of that category for the Phillies. It doesn't hit the eyes well when you see that happen. And it certainly doesn't hit the eyes well when Aaron Nola in the sixth inning, who's already shown Rob Thompson that he's leaking gas, has a 10-pitch at bat. In the sixth inning before he gave up the 2-run home run, Aaron Nola had a 10-pitch at bat against Garcia, then that ended with a deep fly ball to center field that just died there at the warning track, fortunately. So if you're Rob Thompson, you got to be going, maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe it's gone. It's already 3-0. And then he gives up a single to Ruiz, and then he gives up the 2-run home run to Nathaniel Lowe. If you're Rob Thompson, that should have never happened. Now, is it why they lost yesterday? No, they couldn't hit worth a damn. And Nola, again, got gotten to by the Nats in the fourth inning. So we'll go through the Phillies, the last 2 games over the weekend. We'll break those down. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Tush Push Ban. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to me, this is a very easy case of they hate us because they ate us. They can't do it. The Eagles can do it. The Eagles do it really well. Packers might try to do it. The Bills might try to do it. And the Bills, along with the Eagles, the Bills are right there with the Eagles as far as the two teams that run it the most in the NFL. And I love the story that came out over the weekend of Nick Sirianni saying that Jonathan Gannon and Kellen Moore. No, I don't even think he used Jonathan Gannon. He used Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen. They better vote for the Tush Push because their head coach is because of the Tush Push. Yeah. At least in part because of the Tush Push. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? I saw the Dallas Cowboys come out and say, Stephen Jones come out and say, well, we don't allow pushing in the league, so we're just trying to keep the rules consistent. Yeah, you do. This is the easiest thing, and I don't hear enough people talking about this. When a running back runs into a pile, offensive players can come in. You see it all the time. You try to get him going forward, try to push the pile, try to move the pile. The Eagles are just immediately creating the pile, not with a running back, but with a quarterback. So what are we even talking about? We want to keep the rules consistent. Okay. Well, why don't you just say consistently sucking at football? There. Okay. I'm a child. All right. We'll go through the stories of this. I know Diana Rossini had talked last week about how the Tush Push ban is gaining momentum. Ooh, push back on the Tush Push. Oh, my. This is the first time that I've actually felt a little concerned that they might actually ban the Tush Push. One of my favorite things is the growing sense of jealousy, spite, whatever you want to call it, towards the Eagles because they simply have a quarterback that can run the Tush Push. Here's the thing on that. Kenny Pickett ran it a couple times, and Kenny Pickett was successful. If Kenny Pickett can do it, then what y'all bitching about? Yeah, that's right. I just don't understand what we're talking about. What's the conversation here? The Eagles, and I always love that Nick Sirianni talks about this. The Eagles spend time working on that play. The Eagles work their butts off to be as good at that play as humanly possible. That, to me, is great coaching. That, to me, is great execution. That is a great commitment to the play by the team. And you want to take it away from why? Because they just want a Super Bowl? You want to take it away from them because they're just dominant with it? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever, other than you want to be petty. There was a story that came out about the Green Bay Packers just being petty. It's as simple as that. When it comes to the fact that they can't do it, and they got a pretty damn good quarterback too in Jordan Love, but they just can't do it, man. They bring in, who is it, Kraft or tight end to try to run that play, and it works. What's the problem? Again, they hate us because they ain't us. We'll get more into that. The 76ers. Yeah, remember okay. 76ers. Here's what's going on with 76ers. The 76ers are having an incredible end of the season. Like a miracle might happen here, folks. They lose last night. They get spanked by the Toronto Raptors 127-109. Quentin Grimes doesn't play because, rest. Okay? Sure. He doesn't play last night because of rest. So, whatever. I'll get into the specifics of the game later. But basically, they lose. Sixers lose last night. They have already passed the Nets for the 5th worst record in the NBA. So they go and they lose again last night. The New Orleans Pelicans, a team that I don't think I did on this show, but maybe the postcast over the weekend. I poo-pooed the idea of the 76ers catching the Pelicans as the 4th worst team in the NBA. I poo-pooed it. Now the Sixers just need to be 3 games worse than the Pelicans in the final 7 games of the season. That's it. Just be worse than them by 3 games. 7 games left. Pelicans have some tough opponents on the schedule to wind things down. They got 7 games left. The Sixers got 7 games left. Sixers have the Wizards again, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be a tough one to do it. It's most likely not going to happen. But with the Pelicans winning last night, that's 3 games in 7. That's not impossible. That gives me hope. Now, just if you need a little bit of rooting interest here, the bottom 3 teams in the NBA have a 14% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. Okay? Worst 3 teams, 14% chance. The 4th worst team has a 12.5-point chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. So you're not that far off. Right now, you're sitting at about 10%, which is, still okay. Still good in comparison to the 14%, but still, that's 3 other teams that have a chance at 14%. So it still behooves the Sixers to lose. As far as the game went last night, I really like Dembona. I really like him. I like Dembona a lot. Lonnie Walker the fourth is the one that went off for the second one off. 23 points for them last night, but yeah, they took the L to the Raptors. So plenty to get into in there, and the former NHL coaches fighting defensemen, apparently. I don't know. Other than that, not much happened. Not much happened at all over the weekend, but welcome in once again to the Farzy Show. My name is Mark Farzetta. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to this. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. And hey, how about this? Make sure you hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel, where yours truly will be breaking down your Phillies game each and every day following a Phillies win or loss, just to keep it going. Here's one of my favorite comments on the Tush Push. Let's start it off with that. This comes from ESPN. One source told ESPN that their team will be voting against the proposal. Ooh, support. Because they don't believe the proposal is, quote, honest about the reason. Now, keep in mind, the proposal is the Green Bay Packers. That's the proposal. An NFL head coach told ESPN he thinks the proposal is motivated by pettiness. Oh, this is high school Harry. Like, people always, when they criticize Nick Sirianni, they're like, oh, he's a high school coach, high school Harry, rah, blah, blah, immature, blah, blah. Well, apparently people are more immature than him. Motivated by pettiness because some clubs don't have quarterbacks capable of running a push sneak. I'm sorry. Push sneak? It's a tush push. Say it right. It's weak. Quote, it's weak. The club executive said, quote, it's punishing the team who became excellent at executing the play in 2022 when Philadelphia was the one team doing it. There was a concern about it. It made the game less compelling because fourth and short was no longer in doubt. Then other teams copied it, and they can't do it as well. It reeks, quote, it reeks of jealousy. Your Honor. I mean, if you're presenting this to the Rules Committee at the NFL owners' meetings, I mean, this is a wonderful testimony. I want to call this witness to the stand because this embodies exactly why the Tush Push should stay. And it also embodies why the Tush Push is being looked at to be pushed out of the NFL. I always reference it, but if you haven't heard me say it before, it is well worth restating. When it comes to the Tush Push, there is one opponent head coach that said all you needed to say about it. And it was Mike McDaniels of the Dolphins. After the Eagles bent him over and put him over his knee, put him over their knee on that was that a Thursday night game? I forget what it was. Here in Philadelphia 2 years ago, before the Eagles started their slide. One of the biggest wins of the season was against the Miami Dolphins, and they ran the Tush Push in that game. And Mike McDaniels came out after the game, and he was just like, I think it just goes to show you how much, he was asked about the play. And he said, it goes to show you how much how much detail they pay attention to when it comes to executing that play and how much time they put into making that play as perfect as possible. When people talk about pace of play or slowing down the game, and by the way, for the record, Mike McDaniel, his take on it is the only way that you should really think about it. And I think it's the best way to sum it up. Then you talk about the pace of play. You talk about player safety. Hey, look, I have said on the first and goal from the one, the first play shouldn't be Jalen Hurts putting his head first, over a line of scrimmage. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. But it seems to work. I would rather them not do that. I'd rather them try with the running back first before you do that with your quarterback. But no avail there. So they keep on doing it, and it keeps working. And knock on wood, no one's been hurt. As far as pace of play, we're talking about a running play here, people. Pace of play. He's running the ball. The clock's going to be moving. If anything, it keeps it. It's a great thing. What are we talking about? I can't remember. I have compared this to like other things that just were unstoppable. Like what was Sandy Koufax told he couldn't throw a curveball? anymore. Hey, you got to stop throwing that curveball. Everyone's trying to throw curveball like, they just can't do it. No more curveballs. Kareem skyhook. No more skyhooks, Kareem. It's just too dominant. You can't do that. And what are we doing here? This is dumb. This is dumb. We're wasting our time talking about a play that nobody else can run nearly as good as the Philadelphia Eagles are running. And the rest of the league is crying because of it. Apparently, things did get heated. One report had, when the conversation was being brought up, one report had the a heated argument during the conversation, which I love. I could imagine, like, for all the memes that are out there about, like, I've seen the meme a bunch of times. Was it Crossing Broad that put it? I forget who it was. That, like, had Fangio and Sirianni and Kevin Patullo and Big Dom as, like, the Soprano crew walking into the meeting to represent the Tush Push. You know what I mean? I could imagine that scene getting real Sopranos like in the NFL's owners meeting and NFL owners meetings. Mike Garafolo also yesterday. This goes more along the lines of the coaches that need to vote for it. And I was wrong. He did involve Jonathan Gannon in this, but Mike Garafolo put out yesterday, spoke to Nick Sirianni today on the Tush Push vote. Yeah, this is yesterday, 3:30 p.m. With a grin, he said, we'll see how it goes. I will say about this. Gannon, Steichen, Moore better vote for it. They are in the head coach position right now because of that play. So all three of them better have those votes, those 3 votes right there in the Eagles vote for the Eagles. And at least we know we have 4. Well, that's a good thing. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care unless they're going to take away our play. Which, if they do, how dare they? How dare they? How dare they? I mentioned earlier that the Buffalo Bills run the play almost as much as the Philadelphia Eagles, and I was surprised to learn that a couple of weeks ago. But that's exactly the way it goes down. And I have the numbers for you somewhere. Comes out after the Super Bowl, ban the Tush Push, blah, blah, blue, bloobity, blah. I'll have to find it. I thought I had it right here. Thought I had it right here in the waiting. And I do not. Cuss sarn it. All these Eagle stats. Now I'm losing my Eagle stats within the Eagle stats. Me scusi. That ain't it. That ain't it. I'm losing my mind. You know, you try to organize things just to no avail. Just to no avail. You know what I'm saying? Ha! Found it. Okay, cool. I think you could add to Nick Sirianni. He said, he at least they got 4 votes between him, Steichen, Gannon, and Moore. I think you got 5. And it's odd that I've seen Sean McDermott talk about it negatively, but Tush Push since 2022. Philadelphia Eagles and the Buffalo Bills have run the Tush Push 163 times. They get touchdowns or first downs 87% of the time combined. The rest of the NFL, since 2022, running the Tush Push, has run it 153 times. Huh. That's only 10 off from the Bills and the Eagles, the rest of the NFL. But keep in mind, that's combined 30 teams. But here's the thing. They are successful 71% of the time. So what are we bitching about again? Because the arguments being made right now about the Tush Push are that the Eagles run it better than anybody, which is true. But they're like 100% every time they do it. and every other team is 0% when they do it, when that's not the case at all. Eagles and Bills combined are successful 80%, 87% of the time. They're the teams that run it the most. Rest of the NFL, 71% of the time. That's pretty damn good. So what are we talking about here? I remember years ago, Dana Carvey's, yeah, that's right. Dana Carvey's stand-up act. He would do the late Johnny Cochran impression about the OJ trial. And he would say, Johnny Cochran would always act like, why are we even having a trial? Folks, that line comes to mind. Why are we even having a debate about this? Why are we even having a trial? Why are we putting the tush push on trial? They hate us because they ain't us. Simple as that. More from ESPN. During the Sunday afternoon session, Philadelphia Eagles general manager Howie Roseman, assistant general manager Joe Ferrari, two head coaches on the competition committee, the Sean McVay of Los Angeles Rams, and the Sean McDermott of the Buffalo Bills gathered inside a hallway outside the bathroom to have a private and animated side conversation about the Packers' proposal. That was a weird way to put it. One club told ESPN that their team will be voting against the proposal because they don't believe it's honest. That's more from the ESPN article there. But I love the idea. So, again, the Bills and the Eagles run it more than anybody. And I figure Sean McVay, this is like the McVay of Hal Shawn and the McDermott of Hal Shawn had an argument. But they had an argument, apparently a heated conversation. I would assume that I think we know Rams are against it, just as the Packers. Oh my God, two teams that lost the Eagles in the playoffs. No way. We're all having fun here. We're all having some fun here. Eagles have a play that's phenomenal, and they want to take it away from us. One of the other things I think about when it comes to this play is, yeah, okay, take it away from the Eagles. Then they're only still going to have Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, A.J. Brown as their wide receiver 1, Devontae Smith, wide receiver 1A, and Saquon Barkley running behind it, Jeff Stoutland, offensive line. Yeah, go ahead. Take it away. You know what? Here's what I would love. I would love for the Philadelphia Eagles to extend what would be one of the most beautiful middle fingers ever given in the world of sports. I would love for the Eagles to win this vote. I would love for the tush push to stay. And then in the upcoming 2025 season, the Philadelphia Eagles never run it. Go all the way back to the Super Bowl, win it, and parade down Broad Street again. They self-banned the tush push just to stick it to the people that wanted to ban it. Oh, this is why you win. Oh, really? It's a shame we're stacked everywhere else offensively. And some things are going to work out defensively. We're going to be just fine. But I'd love for that to happen. They self-ban it. They just put it on ice for a year. Just out of, you want to talk about spite, pettiness, and jealousy? I can see Nick Sirianni doing it. Anyway, I bring all this up because all this, I just wanted to acknowledge that all this is dumb. So dumb. That would be pretty awesome, though. The Eagles win it, and they just don't use it. Like, oh, yeah, we're kind of over it. And they still win another Super Bowl. In that world, that'd be such a happy world. Such a happy world. So we'll find out about that in the not-too-distant future. Go figure. Your Philadelphia. Oh, by the way, I want to mention, not just ESPN. I want to shout out the reporter that actually wrote it. Kathleen Kaler wrote it for ESPN. The quotes I was giving you from the stories, that's from her. Philadelphia Phillies. Opening day strikeout 19 times, they win. Game 2, they walk 8 times. they win. Get the long ball from Bryce Harper, get the long ball from Kyle Schwarber. Brandon Marsh got a hit off a lefty. Brandon Marsh hit a 3-run home run. Things were looking good. Aaron Nola gets the ball against, Mitchell Parker. I know, shaking in your boots when you hear the name Mitchell Parker. And the Phillies had a clear strategy going into yesterday's game, which was to be aggressive. They were hacking, baby. They were hacking. And then they hit a wall. Couldn't get any runs across the plate. Got runners on with 2 outs, a couple of different occasions in the early goings of the game. Couldn't get the big hit. Alec Boehm, he missed on a curveball that he flew out, to center field. And it was one of those situations where he was being aggressive, which is Alec Boehm. He tries to jump on a first pitch curveball. He guessed right, and he just swung under it, put it in center field. 7th inning was the absolute killer. You get Alec Boehm up to the plate with the bases loaded. 1 out. This is the guy that you want up. He's with runners in scoring position, late in the game, you want Alec Boehm up at the dish. Right before he steps to the plate, he was batting second yesterday. Right before he steps to the plate, Kyle Schwarber gets hit by the pitch. Kyle Schwarber saw 5 pitches, 3 of which were out of the zone. Drastically out of the zone. He almost hit, who was it? Farrer. Farrer almost hit Schwarber twice. And then he hit him the 3rd time. So 3 inside pitches. Normally, I would like the next batter to take a couple pitches. Maybe they're able to work a walk and just bring in a run. But it's Alec Boehm. This is an opportunity for you to strike big. So the don't swing at the first pitch thing, I kind of put out of the way for a second. And then I definitely put it out of the way when you guess right. Alec Boehm guessed right on a first pitch fastball. He got a sinker, got a 2-seamer right over the middle of the plate. You go back and you watch that. That ball's right over the middle of the plate. That's what you like to call a cookie. Okay, that's a beach ball. That's a meatball right down the middle of the plate. Alec Boehm, sharp hit ground ball to third base, 5-4-3 double play. The Nationals are out of the inning. On the curveball that he missed in I think it was the 5th inning. The curveball that he missed, I think he all but spiked the bat out of frustration for just missing, and then he just missed again. First at bat of the game, also had a deep fly ball center field, just missed. Comes up again in the 9th inning, and he puts it, hits a liner right to second base to end it. He hit the ball in the screws a number of times. Just the old phrase, hit them where they ain't. This might be a record for ain'ts I've used on a show, but hit them where they ain't. Well, they were there. They were right there, unfortunately. Very frustrating day for the Phillies offense. Frustrating day for Aaron Nola as well in Game 3 of this series because he looked so dominant in the first 3 innings. I was joking. Well, I seriously said that after 3 innings, his knuckle curve looked like it was in midseason form, and somebody said, I'm not sure if that's a good thing. And I responded, I said, well, it's a good thing. Well, after the home runs he gave up, I said, it's a good thing to be in midseason form. It's a bad thing for Nola to be in mid-game form because that's where he gets got. The home run he gave up to Josh Bell was, oh boy, that was, talk about meatballs. That was right over the middle of the plate, and Josh Bell just got, I think it was a changeup, and he just drove it. But what bothered me, it was the 6th inning. Aaron Nola was already up around 90 pitches. Going into the inning, I think he had 83 pitches. So, yeah, he has maybe 80 pitches. He has the 10-pitch at bat to Garcia that ended with a deep fly ball to center field. Now, I saw that, and I went, all right, is somebody up in the pen? Can somebody tell me if somebody's up in the bullpen? And then he faces Ruiz. He gets a single. And I'm thinking, all right, this is it. This is the hook. Get him out of there. And he faces Nathaniel Lowe, and Nathaniel Lowe just hits a baseball really hard. And it's for a 2-run home run. And then they pull Aaron Nola out after that. I thought he waited one too many batters, and that's as it's happening. It's not revisionist history. It's not hindsight. It's as it's going down. So look, the Phillies are 2-1. I'm not going to lose my mind about them being 2-1. But one thing I did realize about this series is that the Phillies are on an extremely short leash. I maybe I'm wrong. You tell me where your head's at, but to me, it doesn't feel like you're watching the third game of the season. It seems like you're watching the fourth act of the same play. That's what it feels like. With this group, really the third act, if you want to include, moving on from Rhys Hoskins. To me, it feels like we have seen this play again. We've seen this play before. So when you don't hit with runners in scoring position, and these are the two ghosts I was alluding to from the previous acts. These are the two ghosts I was alluding to when I started the show. The two ugly ghosts that reared their ugly heads for these Phillies in this series were runners in scoring position, or in the game, I should say. Runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. And then the other was Aaron Nola getting got in the middle innings, where he's cruising along, looking fantastic. And then all of a sudden, that one big inning, thanks to the long ball, that's the tough pill to swallow. Because you see him pitch like at some Hall of Fame level, and then it's just like, oh, just like that, he's an end-of-the-rotation guy, just in one inning, just like that. I said the same thing about Christopher Sanchez in the early goings of last year, where he'd be cruising along, then they'd have a mound conference, and then it would be the opposite with Christopher Sanchez. He would be really struggling, walking guys. Remember that time he walked the bases loaded in New York against the Mets last year? Caleb Cotham came out. I don't know, sprinkled a little Caleb Cotham pixie dust on him. And then he struck out 3 guys on 9 pitches. It's the reverse effect for Aaron Nola. Everything, he looks great. And then, no, not good. Now, last year, his worst inning was the 5th inning. That's when he got tattooed. But yesterday was the 4th inning. So there you go. But still, middle innings, Aaron Nola getting got. That was frustrating. All in all, I know I just talked about some negativity when it comes to the Phillies and the 4th act of the same play, not just game 3 of the regular season. But it is just I know I said this after opening day, but it is a breath of fresh air to have baseball back. It feels so damn good, especially when the Sixers are giving you junk. It feels so damn good. The Flyers giving you something to talk about with John Tortorella. So apparently him and Cam York got into a heated argument to the point it was so bad that in his first game as the head coach of the Flyers, interim, Brad Shaw, have to take that pause right there, still benched Cam York. Like benched, he dressed, but it wasn't you sit up in the press box. It was you sit here and you don't even play. You sit here and think about it. That's how bad it was between Torts. He left the team a note, apparently. I give a lot of credit to Cam York. Addressing the media after the Flyers win, he had nothing but glowing things to say. Nothing but glowing things to say about John Tortorella. Good for him. Class act, keep it in-house, keep it in the dressing room, as they say. But with the Flyers not being so great either, and the Sixers not being so great, it has been a welcome sight to have. Hey, and the Union, they're playing really well. The undefeated, if I'm not mistaken. But the Sixers. So, just real quick on the game, because that's all it deserves. Lonnie Walker, the 4th, 23 points for the Sixers. That's great. Six Sixers finished in double figures in scoring, every one of their starters. And off the bench, Jalen Hood Shafino dropped in, I want to say it was 17 points for the Sixers. Ricky Council had a double-double. How about that? I think he had 17 points and 10 rebounds. Good to see that for Ricky Council. But Adem Bona, before he went out and missed 5 games with a left ankle sprain, he was starting to get double-doubles. He was starting to show how aggressive he could be. He was starting to show how athletic he is. He was really coming into his own as far as just being comfortable in the NBA. So last night, he gets 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 blocks. The night before, I think he finished with 15 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks, maybe. There's things I'm trying to pick up on from the end of the season. Because, look, they go out there, they're trying to make the most of the opportunity, which, by the way, is why Tyrese Maxey isn't playing, in case no one's figured that out. It's not just so the Sixers lose. It's because Tyrese Maxey can't go out there and help a team lose. Literally, he said that. right before he stopped playing, he was like, yeah, if I'm lacing him up, I'm going out there to win. I don't have any other gear. And I'm like, that's my man. That's what I want to hear. So that's why he ain't playing, as we all, I think, kind of surmised. But Adem Bona, to me, one of the things I've learned from this season, especially the end of the season, is Adem Bona is a backup center in the NBA. And in time, he could be a starting center in the NBA and will likely be a starting center in the NBA. But if you're looking, if Andre Drummond, for instance, doesn't pick up his player option for the 2025-2026 season, then I think you're looking at the guy that's going to be your backup center next year, and that's going to be Adem Bona. And with Joel Embiid as your center, most likely he'll be your starting center for at least 25 games. At least 25 games the next season. So that's one thing that I pulled away from this. We've talked a lot about Quentin Grimes, who, again, rested last night because he's got to be just winded from carrying this team. But we've talked about him as a rotational player on a playoff team. I'd like that playoff team to be the 76ers, and I'd like Quentin Grimes to be coming off the bench for the Sixers team in the postseason. That's what I've learned about him. No, not a starter, not a sixth man, but a guy off the bench in the playoffs. I'd like to see that. That's what I've learned really in the closing month of the season. And maybe we even learn that miracles can happen, and that the Philadelphia 76ers can take over the fourth worst record in the NBA with the Pelicans winning last night like a bunch of dummies. Way to go, boys. Way to go. Also, hey, one other thing from last night's game. I don't remember the last time I've seen this. Now, I've seen the Sixers, because they've done it at least 3 times this year, call a timeout and then not be able to get off a shot. Like, they've called a timeout, they draw up a play, and then they get a shot clock violation. That's terrible. You know what's just flat out embarrassing? Is when you get an 8-second violation for meandering, moseying. I feel like a sachet would be too fast. But anyway, you get an 8-second violation for failing to cross half court. This is what happened last night against the Toronto Raptors. The 76ers got an 8-second violation, and the Raptors weren't even pressing. The 2024-2025 76ers, ladies and gentlemen. Put that in the low light reel. That happened. And I want to blame one person, but it was really, I think Lonnie Walker had it, and then Jared Butler had it. So it's either the two, but I think Jared Butler had it at the time of the violation. Whatever. Hey, I'm happy. Just gave one more possession to the Raptors. But that's hard to do. 8-second violation with no press. You just, I'm just going to mosey up the court. That was wild. Hey, let me tell you about the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code Farzy. Get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. Want to go to the concert, the game, the comedy show? Excuse me. Whatever the case might be, Game Time app has you covered. So take advantage of all they have to offer in the Game Time app. And let's not forget about the Game Time Picks feature, which filters out all the fluff so you get right down to it. The best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. And don't forget, use promo code Farzy to get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. For the game, the concert, the comedy show, Game Time app has you covered. How about PHL Sports Station? Philadelphia. How about PHL Sports Station? Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Check out SkyMotorcars.com and Brett's amazing inventory at SkyMotorcars.com. Let's get into the chat check on this fine Monday morning. Well, fine. It's supposed to be rainy today. Maybe one thing I'll do for you, for all of us. I'll check the latest on the weather. April, good morning. Good morning, fam. Good morning, April. Sean Gillespie. April, hello. Sean Gillespie, hello. William Stark, hello. Sean Kilrain, hello. Why Niners? Why? Good morning, Farzy and friends. Early start today, not even 7. Today was a real late one. My apologies. Go Sixers, hello. Playoff wins 4, Eagles in 2024, Cowboys since 2004. Farzi just wanted to throw that out. Thank you very much. Cowboys suck. Oh, JB, appreciate it. Morning. Enjoyed all the Locked On Phillies postcast. Thank you. Appreciate that, JB. Connor Thomas has you covered for Locked On Phillies Daily. I have you covered for Locked On Phillies postcast. So that's how we divvy up those responsibilities. Oh, why not as wine? Thank you. Yeah, I thought of you, man. I thought of you while I was adjusting the camera. Because you're right. It did look a little funky. What I realized was what threw it off, because I didn't adjust in the postcast for Locked On Sports. I have a border that goes around the screen, like here. There you go. I don't think I needed to do that. I feel like I'm mansplaining. But anyway, I have a border that goes around the screen. That's all I needed to say. And that's what was throwing it off. I didn't account for that when I was doing my show, because the first thing I did was the Locked On stuff with the new setup. So I appreciate you reminding me of that. Thank you. Good hustle by you. William Stark, Bohm has first pitch itis. Think he took 5 or 6 pitches all game. Has to be more patient. Again, generally speaking, I like batters to take as many pitches as possible. I don't really like the first pitch. Ultimately, I think the reason people really don't like the first pitch, well, 2 reasons. 1, your little league coach told you don't swing at the first pitch, probably. And 2, it kills all suspense. Like you're putting all your eggs in one basket. But if you're a hitter like Bohm, and you've hit well with runners in scoring position, especially last year, to the point where you're an all-star, if you're guessing right, then I don't have any problem with it. On at least 2 occasions yesterday, he guessed right and just missed. Here's what I'm pissed at. I'm not pissed at the action of swinging at the first pitch. I'm pissed at missing. Like you did it right. If you get a fastball in the 6th pitch or you get a fastball in the first pitch, what's the difference? And at this point in the game, 7th inning, you're not trying to run up a bullpen guy's pitch count. You know what I mean? But do I have it up here still? I have it up here still. So first inning, Bohm's batting second. Second pitch of the at-bat, lines out to center field. Again, hit it on the screws. 3rd inning comes up there. He flies out to center field. I don't know. I didn't mark the pitches for that one. 5th inning. Flies out to center field just under a hanging curveball. I think that was the first pitch. 7th inning, got Marsh with a single, seeing eye single, ground ball with eyes up the middle. Rojas flies out to right field or left field. Marchand gets a single, 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Farrer comes in. Schwarber gets hit by the pitch. Bases loaded, 1 out. Bohm, I even wrote it in my notes. Bohm gets a cookie over the middle of the plate, rolls over it for a 5-4-3 double play. And then he jumped on the first pitch again in the 9th inning, and that's where he lined out to center field or second base. Wah, 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 wah. Here we go. Bohm, second pitch, first at bat, flew out to center field. Third inning. Oh, 4th pitch. 1-2 count. Flew out to center field. Back up in the 5th inning, I believe it was. First pitch flew out to center. That was the curveball that he just missed and threw down the bat with great frustration. 7th inning was definitely the first pitch. I know I'm not going to look at that one because I already know. 9th inning. First pitch. That was a splitter away. That's where I don't think he's guessing right on a splitter away. I don't think he's going, who's going to throw me a splitter first? Anyway, so yeah, that was frustrating. High domination. What's going on? Sup to you. Paul Mancini. What's going on? Good morning, Farzi and fellas and ladies. Thank you. Tush Push Band has already lost steam. Yeah. That's what I like to hear there, Paul Mancini. Sean, I'll hit you back. I see that. I'll hit you back. That was the way to go. about banning the tush push. Just ban all pushing from behind. Yeah, but I don't think they're thinking of that because everybody else can do that. Anyway, by the way, that's my Stephen Jones impression. It's dead on. Whatever team gets the big boy from the draft won't worry about the quarterback sneak anymore. He's going to throw people, right? Pin 9617, hello. Morning, folks. I heard Nick Nurse could be on the chopping block. Seems a little unfair. I would doubt Nick Nurse is on the chopping block. Like, he's doing what you want. Do you think Daryl Morey, without Maxey, George, and Embiid, is saying, all right, Nick, make sure we make the play-in tournament? I don't think so. I don't think he's saying, all right, Nick, make sure we make a top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't think he's saying that. I think he's saying, get me that pick. Let's look at it. The one thing that he can't really argue with for Daryl Morey and his time here in Philadelphia is he's been pretty awesome when it comes to draft picks. Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain, it's pretty good. Adem Bona, yep, like Adem Bona. He's been pretty money. So if you can get him a 4th overall pick, a 5th overall pick, if you can get up that high, I like that. I like that. I like it a lot. Why Niners wine? We them boys. You can't beat it. Ban it. Irrelevant for 30 years. Thank you. See, that's why last year I went into this. Meaning 2 years ago, I went into this with it when it came to the Cowboys. Like, the Cowboys rivalry for me, nah. Like, they got to be relevant. You know? They got to be relevant. They got to win playoff games for me to really think of it as a rivalry because the Eagles win playoff games. And now, as fate would have it, Super Bowls. Go figure. That's the bet. Oh, man, I didn't even think about that. I just enjoyed saying so many times, 2-time Super Bowl winning champions, Philadelphia Eagles, you know. But what I didn't think about it was now you can say the Eagles have won Super Bowls. Something so simple, just an S, just right there, plural. Chef's kiss. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? Teams need to get their quarterbacks squatting more and get Pro Bowl caliber offensive linemen and coaches. Damn right, but hopefully they don't. Buddy Christ, what's happening? Throw Nola and Walker into the sun, please, and thank you. Look, Nola, we've talked about it. Somebody pointed it out to me that it's an odd year. Nola does not have good years in odd years, which goes right in hand. It's another way of saying what I've been telling you, which is it's good year, bad year, good year, bad year, good year, bad year, which I just didn't realize the bad years are always on the odd years, but whatever. Walker, yeah, throw into the sun, please. I moved to ban Taiwan Walker. How about that? Forget the tush push. Let's ban totally different sport. Sorry. Couldn't help myself. Buddy Christ, happy Monday. Have a good one. You as well. Thank you. Kevin, good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much. No more. Namor's Reef. Just know I see it and I like it. That's funny. Family program. Like Green Bay lost the playoff game because of the tush push. I know, right? Like they lost because of the tush push. Prior to utilizing the tush push, Philadelphia had a ton of success with Carson Wentz utilizing quarterback sneaks from 2016 to 2021. Wentz converted 47 of 53 quarterback sneak attempts. Well, look at that. Well, Carson Wentz, I guess, did the league a favor. He banned himself. That's pretty good. I didn't know that, Sean. Thank you. William Stark, what's going on? Packer organization have some Limburg cheese with your brotherly shove and wine. Love it, William Stark. David Geldner, what's going on? Howie told us nothing new. He spoke what we were thinking. Okay. All right. David Geldner, I only hope that this is the reference I think it is. Dana Carvey, Comedy Showcase. Can I finish? Can I finish one time? I can only hope that's what it is. The hypocrisy chat, it's palpable in their argument against us. True. Very true. David, you like that idea? Don't even run it once and still win the Super Bowl? That'd be awesome. Oh, yeah. Our Match 420. Great name. So the Yankees moved so they're using these bats where they've moved the weight more to the barrel. Is that what it is? Either way, they're juiced up and they're hitting home runs just in an incredible world. They have 20. I don't even know how many they have. They had like 11 the other day. It's insane. But yeah, I'd like for the Phillies to start using those. Richard Hess, hello. What the heck? Wrong mouse. Downward trend continues. They now win against the playoff teams. Brigham overpaid. Yeah, it could happen with the Phils. They're on a short leash, as I've said. Cheesehead broke your pride, says James Jones, yeah. Everyone ready for the NFL annual meeting? How about Nick Sirianni getting center placement on the coach's photo? And he's wearing, hey, look, I just noticed this stuff. He's wearing shorts. He's the only guy in the front row wearing shorts. Did he not know he was going to be in the front row? I know I'm weird. I don't wear shorts. I don't. If I'm off my property, I don't wear shorts. And if I'm playing basketball, I'll wear shorts. But golf, I wear a nice pair of slacks, trousers, if you will. Just thought it was funny. Neil Watson. Bohm has premature swing issues. Interesting. Kyle Shanahan doesn't like Grant. Okay. In the draft, that is. Neil Watson, Green Bay's just salty. I'd say, you know what I mean? Neil Watson, Eagles 5 rings. Yes, include their world championships as well. Niners just can't. Wine, Niners, wine. Who would have thought Sirianni is the only coach not on the hot seat in 2025? Right? Sean Gillespie. Never wear shorts either, though my legs look good. Well, good for you, Sean Gillespie. I don't think my legs are nice. Teams, not Kenneth Grant. What's happening there? Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motor Cars.com. Sorry, that's just how I feel about the Tush Push conversation. And I feel like I'd get in there. I gotta get in there. Your Philadelphia Phillies supposedly are going to be playing today. As far as the weather goes for this, today, supposed to be rainy. Cloudy around the time the first pitch, it looks like. I'll try to get you a more accurate thing. I have zero confidence in weather.com, but just know that the weather's supposed to be crappy today. Hopefully it's nice. Anyway, yeah, Phillies are supposed to play today. 3:05 home opener against the Colorado Rockies. So enjoy that game. The Flyers are going to be back on the ice at 30, 36, and 9. They're set to be back on the ice tonight when they take on the Predators in South Philadelphia. That's how that one goes down. The 76ers have given us a break. They don't play today, which is great. They're back at it tomorrow in New York to take on the Knicks as they hope their slide continues. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's wonderful to have you guys along for the ride. Thank you guys so much. Be back with you guys, hopefully today on Locked On Phillies postcast and a Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. And then back with you guys for the Farzy Show as well. See you guys then. Have a great rest of your day. My name is Mark Farzetta. See ya.